Hi there. I'm your host, Corinne, and this is Okay, But Are You Good? Where we check in on ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. Is it another day on paradise, or we just trying to get by? This week's been good. Everything's been working out lately, so I'm going to keep riding this train because I know when it's not going great, it hits me like a truck. So I'm happy to be on the up, and hopefully it stays like this. Today, we're going to talk about something I've been really feeling lately, and that's been trusting my gut and having it all work out. You know, that inner knowing, that quiet feeling you get when things just work out always. And I feel like I stay winning, or I have this like positive attitude, because every time I trust my intuition, it all seems to work out. So if you ever have had a moment where your gut was telling you something and you didn't listen to it, or if you're trying to build self-trust again after second guessing yourself for so long, this episode's for you. So let's get into it. Your gut isn't always going to be neon flashing lights. It's not going to be the most obvious sign all the time. Sometimes it's a whisper, a weird feeling, or something in your chest that something just doesn't feel like it should. It's a subtle knowing even before your brain is able to catch up with it. And it usually hits you with like, something doesn't feel right, or I shouldn't be doing this. Or you get like almost a deja vu moment sometimes of like, I've been here before and it didn't work out the first time, so I feel like I gotta hit the road. Hit the road, Jack. It's interesting because sometimes your body knows before your brain can catch up, or like your mouth, of like how you should reply or how you should handle this situation. That's why they have that old saying of like, think before you speak, and don't just like blurt out, like word vomit everything. When you trust your gut, it's not about being a know-it-all or always being right. It's just feeling like something needs to change, or you need to switch directions, and then it ends up working out because something is giving you a sign to like not keep going down this path, or let it figure itself out, whatever the situation is. I don't know about you guys, but every time I've ignored my gut, my intuition, it's never worked out for me. That friendship that didn't seem like it was a good idea, yeah, it didn't pay off. There's a quick story. There is someone I knew, and they were actually friends with my husband and my other guy friends first. And I was like, there's something off about this person. I chose to ignore it because they were a great time. And then they ended up being a really horrible person and super selfish. But, you know, we had great times with them, but it didn't end well. But how can you just tell people like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out, something's off about this person, and then you end up being like the odd man out? But how it ended up being played out is that like everyone just eventually ended up having some sort of problem with the same person. And we're all still friends, just not with this person anymore. And we're thriving, we're fine, babes. So sometimes you just got to learn the hard way that you don't need to be friends with everyone just because they seem like they're a good time. You can have those convenient friends, which we all do, and then you have your long-term friends. You just need to know the difference between convenience and forever. Is this just working out in the moment because you live in the dorm room across from me, or is this going to be a forever friendship because you're actually a good, genuine person and care about other people? So going back to the start of this, every time I ignored my inner voice telling me you shouldn't keep moving forward with this plan, this friendship, this career, it led me to being the one that was like hurt, mentally exhausted, and just regretting my decision. But you have to make poor decisions, or just like sometimes you just have to learn the hard way. That's life. We can't all see into the future, right? We don't have some crystal ball telling us which way to go. It takes time. Remember in How I Met Your Mother, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. You know, they had to learn that, of like not staying out so late or not doing this and that. It's a learning experience, and that comes with age. So You know, you gotta trust your gut. If you don't feel like the situation's right, it's probably not. And if maybe you were a little too cautious, it's better to be safe than sorry, always. So why do you think we don't always listen to our inner thoughts, our inner intuition, our gut? I think it ties back into being too much, being too emotional. Like, just use your logic. It's not that serious. You're making a bigger deal out of this situation. And people can gaslight you into thinking you're the one in the wrong when you end up always being the person in the right in most circumstances. So you got to trust your gut. You got to go for things. You got to do something that scares you every day. And that is so scary, but it pushes you to be your best self, to try new things. I wouldn't get anywhere. If I was too scared to leave and go to college, I'd still be hanging out with the same 3 people I've known my whole life. Now I have those same 3 people plus 10 friends. But going back to letting people tell you you're wrong and like you're overreacting, and this all ties back into being a people pleaser, that you rather doubt yourself than disappoint someone else, even though you're probably right in the situation. But what I've learned is that your gut isn't trying to comfort you, it's trying to comfort your alignment. And when I say I'm winning, I don't mean everything in my life is perfect. I don't mean that I got it all figured out and I'm right all the time. I mean, I stay choosing myself. I stay in my alignment and going down the path that tells me, that my gut tells me to go down. A side story is someone came into my life recently and I was like, I'm supposed to have known you all these years, but I don't know anything about you. How am I supposed to trust that your intentions are good? I always have my guard up. Someone definitely messed me up back in the day, and I just have never been able to instantly trust someone. I have to like earn your trust. Like I feel like animals do that. And this person ended up not being someone we can trust. And I've been like, I told you, you just don't listen to me. I was right, but it was one of those circumstances where you don't want to be right. I would have rather have been like just a little paranoid, because now there's repercussions of being around someone that didn't have the best intentions. So sometimes you just have to learn the hard way. And when you trust yourself, you trust your gut, your inner voice, you're able to not overthink and you're able to make decisions in a good time. You're able to stop needing validation from other people in your life constantly. And then you feel an inner peace, even though it's hard and it doesn't just come overnight. There's a different level of confidence and comfort when you know the decisions in your life you've made yourself. You haven't been influenced by anyone else because you've done what you've wanted to do. You trusted your gut. You've trusted your own voice. You've let it be heard. And I feel like it's not easy. That's not something you get overnight. That takes practice and years of wanting to do something for yourself, of wanting to be heard, to have people look at you and recognize like, oh, she actually knows what she's talking about. She isn't just some dumb idiot that wasn't going to graduate from school. Yeah. I've had people tell me they didn't think I was going to graduate, which is crazy because I am I'm obsessed with school. I studied so hard and like I want to do certain things. Like I want to go have fun because I'd be like, I have to finish my homework first. So it's crazy. I've had people in my life be like, I didn't think you were going to graduate. I proved them wrong. I got my bachelor's, baby. Maybe master's one day, who knows? I don't know. But that's why it's so important to just focus on yourself, listen to your inner voice, and trust your gut, and trust that not everyone's going to be looking out for you. They're going to be looking to be right. And you have to be able to be like, okay, I don't need to be right in this situation, because as long as you know you are, you're winning, baby. And hey, you're not going to be right all the time. If I was right all the time, I'd be on The Price is Right. And I'd be winning whatever fun things. I know that's really random, but I've been watching Gilmore Girls and one of the people on the show just went on The Price is Right. So I was thinking about that. I'm okay with being wrong, because when you're wrong, you learn something. And being wrong like really teaches you how to grow. And like, I don't need to be right all the time, but when I need to be right, I am. And that's just on trusting my gut. One of the hardest parts of following your gut is having other people not trust your choices. They doubt you. Sometimes you might hear, why would you say that? Why would you walk away from that opportunity? You're being too dramatic. It's not that serious. But you know what's worse than being misunderstood? It's being out of alignment. You don't need a crowd to understand your intuition, your thoughts. You just need yourself. And honestly, people who love and respect you will understand that you're making whatever decisions for yourself, and they'll trust that you know what you're doing. That's all you can ask for, is that people may not agree with what you're doing, but they trust the process. They trust that you'll figure it out, and they'll be hopeful that it will all work itself out in the end. So if you've been stuck on a decision lately of what you should do or what you think you should do, you already know the answer. You don't need a sign. You are the sign. You need to trust that you know what the right thing is to do, what the right decision is, whether that's with what school to go to, your career move, where you're living, any little thing in life. You know deep down what you want, or you just take the risk and hope for the best. That it's that weird gut feeling or that no you're trying to rationalize that will go away. You need to listen to it, because every time you listen to it, you're choosing peace, you're choosing being aligned. And whether it makes sense to your loved ones or not, you're choosing you. And when you're choosing yourself, you stay winning. So this week, I want you to do one thing. Listen to yourself. Trust your gut, even if no one else understands it, because you understand it. It's your own voice. And with that, make sure to ask yourself, okay, but are you good? Thank you so much for listening in. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next week.